Hey guys, Uncle Ray. Welcome to another episode of the Crypto Bellwether. I don't always tell you what you want to hear, but I tell you what you need to hear to make an informed decision. And in this video, we're going to get really serious about three different things that I think we need to come to an understanding and talk about as it relates to Ripple and the SEC case. Because David Schwartz just posted this statement that you see on the screen, and I think he's trying to tell us something. Now, I'm not going to read anything into it. I'm going to share this statement with you, and you can come to your own conclusions. But guys, this is something that I think we need to take serious and have a real conversation. Because on this channel, whether it's good or bad, I want to bring it to your attention and have a conversation. I take my money really serious. Now, some people want the hype and the spin. Just go ahead and hit that like button, and you probably don't want to watch this video because guys, this is real world conversation about things that are very possible. It's not hype, it's not fluff, but it's real. So let's dive into it. Now here's the statement. It says, when a scrappy financial startup takes on a web of corruption and betrayal to bring instant payments to the masses, they learn that the cost of disrupting the status quo, which is the legacy banking system, is higher than they could ever have imagined, forcing them to decide between their vision and their survival. Now, let's think about that, guys. Let's talk about one thing. There's two choices, what David Schwartz with Ripple said. Choice number one is we got to decide between our vision and our survival. Guys, I think he's trying to tell us something. And I think that the SEC has pushed Ripple into a corner. And there's no win-win. It's basically, less bad might be the outcome. I hope I'm wrong. I can't stand any of this stuff, but I've said from the beginning, I used to work for Bear Stearns. It's a big brokerage firm like JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs. And I've always known for over 30 years that the governments, primarily the U.S. government, the central banks, and Wall Street pick winners and losers to the best of their ability. And they are picking the legacy banking system and projects like Ethereum, not Ripple, not XRP, for whatever that's worth. Now, here's what I think David's trying to tell us. I think he is trying to tell us that they are going to pivot. And I know that definitely that Brad has mentioned many times that we are going to fight till the end until XRP wins or gets clarity. And the whole crypto community should thank them for that. But now I think they're coming to the crossroads of they may have to take it to like the Supreme Court, and that is way too long and could be way too damaging and will put them so far behind the eight ball that they might not be able to implement their vision. So now it may come down to absolute survival, guys. And that's what I think David is trying to share with us. So let me know what you think in the comments section. I'm really curious how you read this, but I think it's a very serious statement that we all should be concerned about. Now, two other things I want to touch base on. I just watched about a 2-hour podcast with one of the guys that is like the financial slash developer slash marketer in the global banking sector. And it was a very long, kind of boring conversation, but they talked about a lot of stuff like ODL. Now, I'm not going to dive into ODL, but he basically mentioned that it is very explosive and they are really doing well with ODL around the world. And they're onboarding banks, or a lot of banks are ready to be onboarded. But he basically said this, for whatever this is worth. we're all waiting for the banking reset. Some people think it's going to be a switch. It's not going to be a switch. It's not going to be overnight. But guys, I used to think it might be 2, 3 years down the road that it'd be, mainstream. It's going to be more like 10 years, guys. I could be wrong. I don't even think we're going to get regulation until we get a whole different administration in. And that's what, 2.5 years away. Now, but basically, what he mentioned in the podcast was how well they were doing, but how the legacy banking system across the globe's pushing back. They really don't want to be involved in this new technology. They don't want to learn. They're fighting it tooth and nail. Most of the people that are way up in the banking system are older. They don't want to have to study and learn something. They make a ton of money with the old technology, and they're scared they're going to lose their job and market share. He explained all that for whatever it's worth. So the point I'm trying to make about that is that it's just going to be a lot longer than you might think. So for me, which I'm really into XRP for the SEC trade, and then I'll figure it out. I will sell that pump, especially if XRP makes a new high. I'll start dollar cost averaging out. That's my personal game plan. But I do know a lot of people plan on never selling their XRP, or at least until it hits some of those crazy numbers we hear, like 1,000, 10,000, etc., which you might be waiting a lifetime, in my opinion. That's a whole different story. But that's just something you might want to think about, guys. The odds are for all projects, we're going to be able to buy and sell these projects over and over in the next 10 years, because there's going to be one bull run, another market crash, another bull run, another market crash. So I plan on taking my profits. I pretty much invest bull run to bull run. Now, the last tidbit I just want you guys to think about. Not saying I'm right, not saying that this is going to happen, but the SEC has not lost 120 cases in the crypto sector. They've brought about 120 to court, and they've won 120. So for whatever that's worth, hopefully Ripple will be the first one, and they'll be 1 in 120 or 120 and 1, right? But here's another thought that is more of a positive. If they happen to take it to the Supreme Court or whatever the next court is, they've lost, I think, 3 out of 5. So there's a lot better chance of them winning. But guys, that could drag on 2, 3, 4 years from now, as crazy as that sounds. So guys, I really think that David is trying to tell us something in that statement, and I think they may be cutting a deal. I could be wrong, and quite frankly, guys, I think Ripple and most of crypto is just ready to get it behind us. But unfortunately, I was also listening to some of the lawyers' comments, and they were talking about it really doesn't set the precedent for crypto like we think, because of how it ranks in the level of courts. That it is not really a precedent, that if we don't get clarity through Ripple's precedent and through them flat out winning, guys, they were talking about that, and this is Deaton, that it's going to drag on and on and on before we could get any regulation. He was literally talking about 10 years. Now, I don't know if that's true, but guys, I'm going to invest bull run to bull run, and depending on how you look at this, it may be a positive or a negative. The lawyers also talked about how, especially with AI being involved in crypto and the way it's exploding, it could become a runaway train. But he did say this: the downside to that is no regulation lets the bad actors move to the forefront, just like we've seen with FTX. Anyway, guys, I know that sounds negative and this seemed to have a bad vibe, but guys, sometime we got to have the hard conversation. That's what this is all about. Now, as far as for me, guys, I can't be more bullish. I don't focus on the things I can't change. I try to focus on the facts and the things that have merit and probabilities. And for me, there is never, ever, ever been a more exciting time or a time in history that there was more opportunity for the average person to change their financial future. I can't be more excited about crypto. I want to urge you guys to stay with it, keep educating yourself. That being said, be careful who you listen to. There is so much hype and noise and BS out there. You gotta get the facts. Do your own homework. And remember, don't invest more than you can afford to lose, which I know we have all done that. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Either way, hit that like button and come back and be part of this community. Now remember, not financial advice. Take care, guys.